Yes, welcome back to the program. Just gone 22 minutes past 8. You're listening to us on Salam Media as well as Al Ansar in Durban and Pietermaritzburg. And this is going live on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. Now, looking at the Cape Times newspaper, cannabis ruling on children welcome. The Center for Child Law has welcomed a South Gauteng High Court judgment declaring the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act unconstitutional as it criminalized children's use of and possession of cannabis, or as is more commonly known, dagga. Now, I speak to Ms. Karabo Oza. She's the director of the Center for Child Law. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Morning.
All right. So, what is the Center for Child Law saying? You welcome this ruling. Why is it so important?
I mean, we were an amicus curiae, or the friend of the court in the case, and we actually raised the issue of the unconstitutionality of the criminalization of children. You would recall that we had the Prince judgment that decriminalized a private possession and use of cannabis, but it made it very clear that it didn't apply to children. So we made arguments that what happens is that you drawing children into the criminal justice system instead of getting them into programs that you could get them on through the Children's Act or the Substance Abuse Act without having to draw them into the criminal justice system. And when you read the judgment, you will see that this case came before the court precisely because children ended up being given the runaround through the criminal justice system and actually ended up in facilities, some of them for more than over a year and a half, where they were treated as if they have actually committed serious offenses, which was not the case.
Do we have any idea as to the numbers of children that have been affected by such cases? Is there any record of that?
Well, for this particular matter, there is in the judgment, I would say roughly almost 100 children because they were placed at 3 different facilities over a period of about a year, just over a year and a half since the matter started. So those are the numbers that we have that are in the judgment, where you see that children were being tested at schools, and when they tested positive for cannabis or were found in possession, instead of them being dealt with by social workers and parents, they were then sent for these processed through the criminal justice system.
What would you say would be the correct methods to employ in order to prevent children from becoming addicted to such substances, from engaging in cannabis use to start off with?
Yes, I mean, we need to do a lot of prevention and early intervention, which the Department of Social Development is supposed to be doing because the Children's Act provides for that, as well as the Substance Abuse Act, which also falls under the care of the Department of Social Development. So we need to have a lot of programs in schools, in the communities, raising awareness about the negative consequences of drug use. And that's very important because even in the judgment, all of us who were involved, including the ministers of justice, of social development, made it clear that we do not encourage the use of cannabis by children. It's wrong, it should be discouraged, but the criminal justice system is not the right response. We need to invest a lot in educating young people about making choices that better their lives. And I don't think we do enough in relation to that.
Have you had any response from the Department of Justice and the police, for that matter? Because obviously they have now lost the case in this particular setting.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a loss. You will see when you read the judgment. Actually, they conceded. They conceded all the ministries, Minister of Social Development, Education, the National Prosecuting Authority, and the police, and Minister of Justice conceded that the way they had been dealing with the children was wrong, that putting the children through the criminal justice system was not the correct approach. So by the time the judge wrote the judgment, she already knew that the parties were in agreement that the section is unconstitutional insofar as it criminalizes the children, and the way that they've practically been dealing with the children that test positive for cannabis was wrong. So I don't think it's a surprise for them.
Mrs. Korabaza, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing that important information with us. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.